Hey, soldiers, Sam Bankman Fried continues to test the limits of his bail conditions. Now, if you or I, were doing anything like what he's doing, and we were out on bail awaiting federal trial, I can tell you right now, we probably wouldn't have gotten a bail to begin with. And if we did half of the stuff that he's doing, we would be remanded into the custody of the federal government and be wearing an orange jumpsuit right about now. Sam Bankman Fried's Super Bowl VPN use prompts government concern. U.S. prosecutors worry he could use the privacy tool to access foreign crypto sites or the dark web while on bail. You know what? I know a place where it would be impossible for him to do these things, and that is in a federal lockup while he awaits his trial. I mean, hey, look, they got federal facilities in California, right, where they can hold him and he can meet with his lawyers and prepare his trial. This guy is a spoiled brat, man, and he is really testing the limits. Of course, we know he's the founder of the collapsed crypto exchange FTX. He's been using a VPN, a virtual private network, to access the internet. This is according to U.S. prosecutors. They say that this action is potentially prompting a further clampdown on his bail conditions. Clampdown. Why don't you clamp down by just clamping some handcuffs on him and escorting him away? After learning he had used the privacy tool twice over recent weeks, the government promptly informed defense counsel and raised concerns about the defendant's use of a VPN. This is according to a letter from the U.S. Attorney Danielle Sassoon to Judge Lewis Kaplan, dated February 13th. Now, I've seen a lot of ads, especially on YouTube, for VPNs. A lot of the bigger YouTube personality, well, everybody's a bigger YouTube personality than me, but I've seen a lot of the YouTube personalities. They have advertising, they have sponsorships from VPN companies. And I always said to myself, does this thing really work? I guess it would work in terms of if you wanted to watch like Netflix from another country or something like that. But apparently, these things may work with regard to concealing your actions from federal prosecutors. VPNs allow internet users to mask their whereabouts, which means the government can't see what websites or data they access. That alone should be a reason to revoke his bail. The VPNs can be used benignly. Okay, I did just suggest watching Netflix from another country. They can also be used to access foreign crypto sites that block U.S. users and covertly access the dark web. This again, according to Danielle Sassoon. She's one of the U.S. attorneys working on this with Damian Williams. Now, Sam Bankman Fried's attorneys have responded. In a letter dated February 14th, Mark Cohen said he had the VPN, this is Sam Bankman Fried, to watch playoffs in the National Football League and the Super Bowl via an international subscription. Wow, man. And is Judge Lewis Kaplan actually going to go for that? The Super Bowl in the playoff, I mean, they're broadcast from like regular television stations here in America. You don't need to go through any particular hoops in order to watch the playoffs or the Super Bowl. So what the hell are they talking about? And look, I'm not even a sports fan, and I know the damn game comes on television. You could also get it on some popular websites that you don't need a VPN for. So that's their excuse. They're saying that he wanted to watch these games, and so he did so through a VPN. The attorney went on to say he's willing to allow a reasonable bail condition on VPNs and that Bankman Fried won't use one in the interim. This guy was doing something nefarious. He's moving money around. He's communicating with, look, he already demonstrated that he will communicate with potential witnesses in this trial. All right. That was the focus of a hearing a few weeks ago with Sam Bankman Fried. So this guy is using that VPN nefariously, and Kaplan should just come out and say, hell no, you can't do that. The court has already restricted Bankman Fried's ability to contact FTX employees using ephemeral messaging services like Signal. But if he can conceal his activities from the government using a VPN, then that restriction doesn't mean much of anything, because he could continue the activity unabated and very clandestine. Bankman Fried was charged in December with multiple counts of fraud following the collapse of his crypto exchange, FTX. Yeah, he's got the presumption of innocence within the legal system, within the court system. This guy's guilty as sin. I hope he spends a lot of time in prison, because he just doesn't believe that the law applies to him. You can tell by the actions that he has endeavored in, just again and again and again. Of course, he has pleaded not guilty, but he's basically using his VPN to get around surveillance. He's using the damn thing for what it was intended, which is to hide your, whereabouts, to hide your actions, to be able to access things and not be noticed. Because think about it, the best he could come up with in terms of an excuse as to why he had the VPN was to watch something that is publicly available to everyone here in the United States. You don't even have to have some sort of pay-per-view arrangement like a streaming service or a cable subscription in order to watch the Super Bowl and the playoffs. You don't need that, okay? He's saying that he had an international subscription to do that. You're not in the Bahamas anymore, Sam. You don't need that. Just turn to channel 3 and, there you go. So he continues to lie. He continues to obfuscate. We will continue to stay on the trail here and see what happens, how they handle this latest incident of, his actions. And let me just say this. You would think that his mother and father, this gives you a window into how this kid, yes, I said kid, he is young enough to be a child of mine. And beyond all that, this is how he acts, a petulant child. But you can get a window into how he was raised in terms of believing that, hey, Sam, you could go out there and just do anything you want. Because the way I was raised, okay, the way you were probably raised, you're not going to keep flouting the authorities in this way. All right. You're going to try to keep your nose down, keep your head down, low profile in order to fight these charges and try to remain free. I think the Bahamian jail stint, I don't even think he remembers that. Okay. I think he just thinks it was like this weird little incident. He always thought that he'd get out of it. What Sam Bankman needs in terms of an attitude adjustment is for a jail door to close and for there to be no hope within 2 decades of him leaving that situation. Okay. Keep in mind, a lot of people were harmed. I always say it. Look, I'm not a fan of crypto, but I'm not a fan of people losing their hard-earned money either. Okay. And these people thought that they were investing in something, purchasing an asset. They believed in this guy. And what did he do? He took his girlfriend out and they spent lavishly using other people's money. He didn't take the money and do the right thing with it. He flouted his own terms of service and he took hard-earned money and he lived high on the hog, fancy restaurants, tens of thousands of dollars spent eating. Okay. The definition of a fat cat, right? Lavish digs in the Bahamas for not just him, but his friends and his family as well. All the while, people on the other end of that equation are working hard, trying to put money away for various goals in life, trying to, get a leg up financially. And this is what he does. So yes, this individual deserves to be in jail right now, awaiting trial, and he deserves a guilty verdict so that he can spend the rest of his life in prison. I don't feel sorry for him at all. Now, his girlfriend, Caroline Ellison, there's a question as to whether or not she's cooperating fully with the government. Take a look at this report that we did, and you decide for yourself. Is she still pining away for old Sam? They had a relationship. Or is the threat of 110 years in prison much more impactful? And is she going to do the right thing? Check out the report, guys. I'll talk to you soon.